Hello, everyone. Welcome back to What's the Rates? I'm your host, Brianne Lyons, and this is the show where we get into the raw and real of pursuing creative success as a self-funded artist in your 20s in New York City. Today, I am here with a true multi-hyphenate, Nya Etienne. She is a digital strategist, a creator, a journalist, and a creative entrepreneur. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes. Hello. So tell us about you. Tell us about everything that you do, what you currently have going on, and also talk to us about your transition from post-grad into where you are now.
So I'm a creator marketer in my 9-to-5, which means that I work with social impact influencers. I'm also a freelance journalist, which is why sometimes you might see me on the red carpet reporting. And I'm also a content creator. So I kind of take that tangible information about the creative industry that I learned in my 9-to-5 and I translate it into content on how to pursue a creative career.
Nice.
Yeah.
So talk to us about post-grad life and the transition for you.
So it's actually kind of a crazy story. I actually had a job lined up right after graduation, but because of tech layoffs, they swept it out from under me. Like, I was fully ready to move to LA, start this new tech PR job, and they let me know in April, right before I was about to graduate, that they had to lay me off. So I had to kind of dive into a creative career, and it made me just pivot back into freelance work that I had started to do in college. So I had been like making side websites, portfolios for people as they came. And so when I didn't have a job anymore, I was like, let me try to do this full time. And so I took freelance gigs writing. I was a social media manager for a time. And then I was also running my own creative consultancy called Resonate Media, where I served other creatives. So again, making their websites, their portfolios, helping them with their content strategy. And that eventually landed me a contract role at the company where I'm currently a full-time creator marketer / digital strategist. So it all ended up working out. But girl, I was terrified. Like, I was completely jobless at graduation. And so I was like, I'm going to find a way to make it work. But I really fell into a creative career.
Yeah. Hey, where's home for you again?
PG County, Maryland.
Maryland.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So talk to us about young creators in the media space and just what you've noticed in terms of just like commonalities or common mistakes or common tips and tricks that you believe are most beneficial for any young creative who is in the digital media space.
I think that something that can stop your growth is looking at the industry as oversaturated. We've democratized creative careers. Anybody can set up a camera and make a video and talk about their experience, but being a true content creator and someone that makes it a career, you have to understand your purpose fully, and it doesn't just have to do with a social media platform. So I think what a lot of young creative people get stuck on is that you have to have a certain following or that vanity metrics are the meaning of success, when that's just not the case. You really have to understand your unique value proposition, which is something I always come back to. Like, what can I talk about that nobody else is able to have this perspective on? And I think zoning in on that is really important instead of just trying to go viral, because that's a short-term boost.
Yeah. So a lot of people say all the time, they're like, oh, just be you, right? Your personality is what adds the flip and the spin and the secret sauce to your entire social media presence and your brand, right? So to what extent do you believe that's true? Do you believe that's kind of just like, what they say? Or tell me about that.
That's an interesting question, because on a lot of my videos where I talk about creator marketing, creators will comment and be like, hey, can you audit my account? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I think that you should be yourself, but understand that not everybody is going to glean value from what you think is important. I think that you have to make relatively unselfish content if you actually want to be successful. Like, some of the most successful creators and creatives realize what they can do to serve other people. They're not just talking about their day-to-day and all about themselves. Well, some of them are, but those are major influencers. But when we think about being an actual creative and someone that's making an impact, you have to serve other people. So I think that's something that people need to consider too.
Yeah. So how do you believe your experience at NYU prepped you?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, for sure. I do not want this to be an ad for NYU, but I will say it's so funny because I always say that NYU grew my critical thinking skills. I studied media culture and communications, as we were talking about before, with a minor in journalism, but I switched over from NYU School of Journalism. And so I had these classes that built out my reporting skills and those hard skills for actually being on camera, being a journalist. But my media Bachelor of Science taught me how to study media. And so now every time I see an ad or content, I'm like, what were they thinking when they made this? Like, what are they trying to convince me of? And it taught me how to really dissect media. So now as a content creator and a journalist, I'm not only a creator of content or a consumer of content, but I feel almost like a critic in that way. So deeply understanding it. And it helps my own content strategy too. So I think NYU was a huge help there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Content strategy. Okay. So I feel like everybody and their mama wants to be a content creator now, right? So what's some advice that you would give to people who are trying to carve out their brand or their niche in addition to being yourself and finding something that you can talk about that provides a unique perspective to whatever topic that you're providing the masses?
So there's this term that's been popping up. I didn't create it, but if you search it up, my name comes up because I mentioned it in a New York Times article, being an intellectual influencer. I think that that's something a lot more people are going to lean into because just selling makeup and clothes ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like you need to actually be teaching people something, whether that's your experience as an actor, your experience as a podcast host, your experience with life in New York City, how you can live in New York City without, having to eat ramen every night. I think being someone that offers people tangible advice is what people are actively looking for. They don't want to be just sold to. So I think that that's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that you did a panel discussing AI and human connection. And also you had an excerpt that was in DigiDay, I believe.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit more about that. Elaborate on that with the AI and the artists and human connection and how those meet and marry and just like... I don't know, it seems like they're on opposite ends of the spectrum nowadays, especially in the creative realm where it's like, like AI needs to stay over here. AI is kind of taboo. It's trying to take over human experience or human touch. And then on the opposite side, everybody's like, AI is going to make everything easier for us. You know what I'm saying? So talk to us about your take on that.
Yeah. So I think the question for a lot of artists and creatives is AI going to take my job? But when we look at the way that technology has been introduced in the past, if the people aren't feeling it, the technology is going to pass and not be accepted. Like, do you remember when Google Glass came out and like the Snapchat glasses?
Okay.
Do you remember those?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Like the filter?
No, there were actual lenses. Like, the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that they have now.
Oh, okay. I'm just now hearing about this.
These were produced originally in like 2012 or 2011. Google had these Google glasses. And now Ray-Ban Meta is super popular. But back in 2012, they were recalled because people just weren't buying them. They thought that it was an invasion of privacy to have glasses that had cameras on them. But here we are, 15 years later, and now people are used to being recorded everywhere. So now the technology is readily available and people like it. I think that's the same way that AI is working. People are not feeling it right now. So I think it's going to take many years until people are comfortable with it being a form of creative expression. But that doesn't mean it won't happen. The technology is already here, but it might take years for it to be adopted. So I think when artists and creatives are scared of AI taking their jobs, I say we have a few more years to determine if that's actually a concern. Because as of right now, AI influencers and artists are not taking over. People aren't actually loving them. Some people listen to them, but I don't think it's a major concern, especially because human creative expression is so valuable.
Girl, are you media trained? Like, oh.
Wait, really?
I'm sorry. You are killing it right now.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, because that was all. I was like, wait, Google Glass. I hadn't even thought about that in years, but no. But I think about AI. That's what I think about. Like, yeah. I was grooving. I love this. Yeah.
And I also saw that you had, I believe you either led a conference or you did a panel again. Pardon me for that. But you were talking about how creators who are trying to make a social impact can incorporate specific political issues and things like that into their content to land political branding deals or political brand deals, excuse me. So talk to me about that, especially in the time that we're in. So just so you guys know, we're recording this November 4th. So the elections began.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be called tonight.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. I think it also speaks to this larger conversation about why influencers and content creators are important. When people think about influencers, they think about, again, people selling makeup, clothes. If that's what you want to do, that's totally cool. But there are people online that are literally shifting our opinions and our political views, whether we notice it or not. Like as we scroll, we consume so much content and that does inform our opinions. So having content creators and influencers who can talk about political issues and understand progressive viewpoints and understand how to talk about things in a way that's easily accessible to like the everyday person is really important. So there are opportunities for social impact partnerships. I dole them out every day at my 9 to 5. You know, you can talk about climate issues, issues that are important to you, like cost of living, housing, like things that come naturally to you can be incorporated into your content. And that also puts you on the radar of creator marketers like myself who are looking for creators to partner with for that type of content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about equal opportunity for all types of creators.
Yes.
Across the racial spectrum.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what you've noticed with that, and also just anything that you believe needs to be brought to light, and anything that should be implemented in order to, I don't want to say beat the game, but in order to play the game smartly.
Yeah. So I think my advice would more so be to people on the inside. So like there's not much content creators can do to be like selected for brand deals, but I think that we need more gatekeepers who look like us. Because when you look at influencer marketers or people in my position, they're adding people onto their campaigns who they consume and watch on a daily basis. So if the majority of influencer marketers are white women, which they are, they're going to hire Alex Earl and the girls that they watch and who they consume. They're not hiring like, you know, one of my favorite influencers and one of your favorite influencers, because those people just aren't on their radar and it's not who they consume or see as popular. So I think we actually need more people pursuing creator marketing and influencer marketing careers, because that's how we actually open the gates, and like the gatekeepers need to look like us. So I think that when I'm sourcing people, I'm looking at creators that I consume who might need their first brand deal, and I think they'd be a great fit for a certain campaign. And it might be someone who would traditionally be overlooked by another agency or another type of influencer marketer. Yeah.
Okay. So in addition to just the type of content that they make and just the type of influencer that they are, what else do you look for when it comes to making that type of selection? Is it the quality of the setup, the lighting, things like that, and how much they take care of their content?
Interesting enough, we want people who are super organic. So even if you like hold your phone in bed while making a video, we're not like super huge on the setup. Of course, there are some clients who want content creators that have like that perfect lighting and look very professional. But on the average day-to-day, they just want people who can talk to people and actually convince them and create that community engagement. So I always say that it's really important to have like 10,000 super fans than wanting to have like 1 million followers. There are some people with 1 million followers who cannot get 50 people in a room for their event. That's the reality of this. But there are some people with 20,000 followers who could get 100 people to show up. And I think that's real impact. And I think a lot of brands do look for that engagement. So again, vanity metrics are dead. Like getting a viral post every couple of weeks versus having consistent growth is not what we're looking for. We're looking for that consistent growth, not just virality. Yeah.
And that's so reassuring to hear as an artist. You know what I mean? Someone who really values the in-person and the human connection and the way that my art impacts you directly. Rather than, like you said, the vanity metrics who kind of get us opportunities and get us in the door, right? Because people who have the key to these bigger opportunities are like, okay, well, how much of an audience are you reaching, you know? And who all are you connecting with? But the thing is that I'm not connecting to all, with using me for an example, all 1,200 of my Instagram followers. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is taking all the poems that I write, you know, to heart, right? But it is reassuring to know that in the chairs, you know what I'm saying, that you guys are valuing the organicness of humans. Does that make sense?
Yes.
In this digital creator age.
No, 1,000%. And a lot of brands and clients are seeking those in-person events. And communities. So brands are asking, how can we actually get people to engage with our products or our ideas in real life? Instead of just paying, again, I keep saying Alex Earl, instead of just paying a mega influencer like Alex Earl $50,000, because that's how much some of these people make from one video, $50,000 for one video to promote our soda. Like, they're not really looking for that anymore. Now they're like, oh, let's host an in-person pop-up like on the corner of Washington Square Park where we're giving away sodas or something like that. Like, people want that in-person experience, which is more of a touch point than just seeing, you know, a rich influencer promoting a product and you know they were paid to do it.
Yeah. $50,000.
Girl, this is called What's the Rate? Let's talk about the rates.
Can we go?
Because the rates, that is why I like to say that I get Black and brown creators paid, because you would be so surprised how much these other creators are making in comparison, and the rates that they will not accept versus the rates that Black and brown creators will accept, because we get so few opportunities from influencer marketing agencies.
Wow.
Yeah, like insane rates. I think that it also, again, it has to do with this idea of oversaturation. Like, it makes me so upset when people are talking about, oh, it's oversaturated, I can't do it, everybody else is doing it. All these people on the other side, like the non-Black creators, there are 50 million types of the same type of influencer making the same content. And look at it, 50 million, like those 50 million people are still getting paid to make that same content over and over. So if you are a Black or brown creator or just a creator of color, what you're doing is niche, because having different experiences throughout our community is rare to see displayed. And it's not oversaturated on the other side. So don't feel like it's oversaturated over here, because it's not. So, yeah.
Somebody needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I needed to hear that.
Because it's truly not. It's not. But we pigeonhole ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, you might see 3 other people making art not similar to yours, but art maybe in a niche that's similar to yours. And you're like, there's other people doing it. There's so much competition. I just promise you that other artists and creatives who maybe are not Black are not thinking that way. It's just it's really a confidence thing in a way that society just wants to make us feel smaller. And I think it reflects on how we view our own creative process and why we're scared to share things, you know what I mean? And why we feel like everybody's going to think it's embarrassing, etc. Other people do not feel that way. And then they're making a bag because they don't feel that way. So we should not feel that way.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into negotiation.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And just
talk about the money.
Yes. Yeah. Let's talk about the numbers. And just asking for what you want and standing 10 toes on your rate. So any advice for Black and brown creators when it comes to having those meetings and talking about those numbers? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I know it might not be the most professional to be like, I know that other creators are making this much. And you know what I mean? Just dragging them into it by using that as a means of comparison in order to get what you want. But give us a more constructive way of putting your foot down and standing 10 toes on that rate.
Yeah. One thing that I think is really important is to have your receipts. So I think if a brand or just anyone you're negotiating with as an artist, like a rate for a show, if they come to you and they super lowball you, you return back with your rate. And they lowball you again. You say, here's the experience and impact I've made in the past. This is why my rate is the way that it is. So whether that's consistently showing that people are engaging with your art, engaging with your content, you have to be able to back it up and prove it. So I say, have their receipts, have your metrics saved, have like a folder, dissect your metrics and how you're reaching people so that you have those concrete numbers to show these brands, because the numbers don't lie.
But also the way that you're reaching people, engaging and connecting, right? Because you don't really want to go off of the vanity metrics like you were saying before.
Yes. It can be qualitative and quantitative. So I think in that qualitative way, and this goes back to like how to even pitch yourself. Like say I reach this amount of people. Like maybe I have 20,000 followers. I reach 20,000 people. Now who's in that community? What do they engage with? And why is it important for the brand to also reach those people? So I have 1,200 followers. I produce this type of music. I reach this amount of people, but these people also engage with X, Y, and Z. And here's why they're engaging with my things, because it makes them feel inspired. It makes them feel empowered. It makes them feel whatever. So having the numbers and the qualitative, to your point, is really important.
Okay, I want to get into your experiences on the red carpet.
Oh,
because that is so cool. So cool. So talk to us about that and just working with Baller Alert.
Yeah, so I love it. It's definitely been a journey, because I remember my first red carpet, y'all, my stomach was so messed up. Like I just felt so nervous and nauseous the whole time. But celebrities are just people. I don't know. Like, I feel like once you're prepared, you're ready to kind of step into it. I will say that for some red carpets, though, you kind of have to be on your toes. So I'll see like Doja Cat from across the way. And it's if we happen to get an interview with her, what can I ask her? And I have like maybe 30 seconds to pitch her PR assistant who's walking down the carpet, asking the different outlets, like, what do you want to ask her? You have to first convince their PR agents, the celebrities' PR agents. Wait, okay, so I'll tell a story. So this is how it works on the red carpet. First, you have to spot the celebrity or their PR agent. When you spot them, you literally have to flag them down. So you're like, hey, Doja Cat's agent or whatever, I want to talk to Doja Cat. They're like, why should we let you talk to Doja Cat? Pitchfork is over there. The Hollywood Reporter's over there. Why should we let you talk to her? And you have to pitch yourself in the moment, even if you didn't know Doja Cat was coming. So you're like, we want to ask her about X, Y, and Z. And if they think it's important, they will bring her directly to you to interview. So there's a lot of on-the-fly pitching that you have to do. Also growing your pitching skills in person. And then you have to actually come up with the questions when you're talking to the person. So unless it's like a movie premiere where you know the main actors that are going to be there, if it's an awards show, you don't know who's going to be there. So you really have to be thinking quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you got that opportunity and just like when you first found out. Just walk me through that entire experience and what that felt like for you.
Yeah, I mean, my mentor, Robin Lyons, she is the best. She's actually the CEO of Baller Alert. And they were looking for freelance correspondents in like New York City, DC, and I pitched myself to her when I learned that there was that opening. And so she gave me a chance for my first red carpet. And one of the interviews I did with David Banner, who's like hip hop rapper, went viral. And she was like, oh, so we have to have you back to do the next red carpet. And so I've just been doing carpets and different interviews for them since 2024. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's the opportunities come as they come and they go, you know, as like award season ramps up. So I think in February when like what's happening, like the Emmys, all the things, if they're in New York, I might be doing those, but we'll see what comes. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite one so far?
Ooh, where's my favorite one? Okay, I don't love sports, but I loved doing the red carpet for the evolution of the Black quarterback.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really cool because it was at the Apollo Theater, which was just like super historic.
Yeah.
And those conversations were like the most organic for me because candidly, again, I know nothing about sports. So as I'm interviewing like Jalen Hurts, Michael Vick, Michael Strahan, I'm genuinely asking them questions because I do not know the answers. So I'm like, how did it feel to become the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl in XX years? And so then seeing Jalen Hurts open up to me, because y'all know he doesn't like to talk a lot, he opened up to me and I was like, oh shoot, maybe I do have some reporting skills. So I think that was my favorite one for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to know something? I was looking at your website. First of all, the website is beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
it's so colorful and interactive.
No, we love the colors. It's like the creative reflection. Yeah, thank you.
And I love that picture of you. You're walking and your hands are up like this.
Oh my God.
Like, it's really giving like Oprah. It's giving like talk show and like I love that. Yes,
that is the goal. Thank you.
Yes,
yeah.
I imagine like Ellen being like, and then here she comes, and then everybody's like, woo! And you're like, hi, you know?
I love it. Yeah.
So now I want to get more into just you as a person.
Oh, yeah.
And how you're able to balance multiple different incomes and also just like what your routine looks like with self-care, your relationship with rest. I know that's kind of a three-headed question that I threw at you, but just tell me about all of that.
Yeah. So candidly, I'm someone that experiences burnout on a bi-monthly basis. Like I now have learned my signs for burnout. So I have like preventative wellness methods so that I do not burn out because due to the nature of just my 9-to-5 work. And then again, the creative career that I'm pursuing, I'm going to be tired. I've just accepted that. But I know that when I start to see these signs of burnout, which are you don't find joy in the things that you used to find joy in, such as like working out. If I find it like a chore to go work out, I know something's wrong. Because it's like, girl, that's good for your body. Afterwards, you feel good. If you see it as a chore because you have other work to be doing, you're getting burnt out. If I stop finding joy in my creative work, because, you know, sometimes with your 9-to-5, it can ebb and flow your interest. But in the work that I'm passionate about, if I start to not find joy in that anymore, I know I'm getting burnt out. So I kind of have like preventative wellness methods, like maybe going to a sauna and sweating it out, like on ClassPass. I'm a huge fan of ClassPass. Going to get like a facial, or again, like having a weekend where I don't talk to anyone. I just cook for myself. I lay in bed rot, and I know that that's what I need to get me through the next like month. I just prepare for that because you're going to be tired if you're chasing your dream career. That's just what it is. And you can't have it all. So you got to learn how to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then balancing the numerous streams of income and being a full-time entrepreneur or like fully immersing yourself into entrepreneurship, I should say. So talk to us about that. Yeah,
it's interesting because sometimes I go back and forth on whether to call myself a creative entrepreneur because I'm like, if you're a content creator, that's different from being a creative entrepreneur. But the way that I approach my different streams is very much entrepreneurship. So when I look at content creation and journalism, when I take freelance journalism gigs, I get paid from those. Through content creation, there's so many different streams, and you have to make sure that you're maximizing each of them. Mm-hmm. So, for example, there's the TikTok Creator Fund, which comes from just like views. Mm-hmm. Then there's brand deals, which are not reliable because brand ad spends ebb and flow. So you can't depend on brand deals. I always tell creators that. Then there's UGC content, which are ads basically that a brand will run on your videos. And so they might pay you a bit less, but that's a recurring form of income because they're going to pay you for ad usage every month. I have one video that I did with a brand back in April. Do you know I'm still invoicing them for the ad usage because they've been running ads on it for the past, 6 months? So that's just income that's flowing in from something I did 6 months ago.
Wow.
And that's not even content that's like attached to my name. It's like they used it for an ad. Mm-hmm. So UGC content's another stream. There's people who do like affiliate marketing and TikTok shop. I'm not into that because I don't like necessarily selling people things. Mm-hmm. But again, there's an entrepreneurial way to look at content creation. And so looking at that allows me to see it as different revenue streams. And then I also see my 9 to 5 as a revenue stream. Les Alfred on the She's So Lucky podcast. She's the host of that.
She was here.
Oh my God. On here?
No, what's the rate? I recorded her. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's incredible. I love her. Like, I loved Balanced Black Girl, and I love She's So Lucky. Mm-hmm. And so she talked about this idea of your 9 to 5 being your revenue stream. Mm-hmm. And so once you see your 9 to 5 as like a means to an end in that way, where it's like, okay, I'm going to learn these skills. I'm going to make the connections I need to make. And then the money I make from my 9 to 5 is going to go towards my bills and my living. All of my other spending money and like money I want to put into my savings is going to come from these different streams in content creation and journalism. That allows me to kind of segment my money as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Girl, I know your organization is top here.
It's bad, though, because my brain never stops buzzing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I got to track my money for the week and like stuff like that. But it does keep me on top of my ish in that way. It definitely comes also, though, from a place of like, I need to be on top of it because I don't know if you have this mindset too, but it's like no one's coming to save me.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's a lot of creative people, right? Like no one's coming to save me. If my rent isn't paid, where am I going to live?
Right.
So it's like it comes from like a necessity of like, okay, I need to get my ish together because if I don't, or if I'm not grinding it out, where am I going to be? You know, how am I going to make it in that way? And that also reminds me again of NYU where it's like you're surrounded by nepotism and that's just not my truth at all. Like I'm a child of an immigrant. I was the first in my family to graduate from college.
Oh, wow.
I did not have those connections. Yeah. So everything that I've gotten up to this point is literally just hard work. And so there is that pressure on myself to make it happen because there's no one coming to save me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the oldest?
I am. Yeah, you can tell.
Because I am too.
Yes. See, the oldest, it's like we
the
have
oldest
that,
girl.
Yes. And so we have that survivor mindset where, I don't know about you, but it's also sometimes difficult to accept help.
Yes.
And that's something I'm learning right now. I'm like, I need to be able to accept help and be able to say like, no, I actually can't do this. Or no, I don't have a capacity for this. Yeah. So I'm learning, but it's really hard. Again, that's why like it gets to a point with burnout where it's like you have to say, I need to rest. I can't go out this weekend. Or like, you know, I need to give it a break. So
yeah, that definitely was me this Halloween weekend. I was like,
I couldn't go out.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I was so tired.
I was exhausted. I celebrated my mom's birthday and I went home and slept for like the whole day after that because I was like, dang, I just can't. But it'll be worth it, you know?
Yeah. But also, I don't know if you feel this way, but feeling like you do have to maximize your social life and like these fun times in your early 20s, early mid 20s, I should say. We're getting up there.
No, girl, I'm like, wait, not I'm about to be 25. Not the quarter quell. Like, what? No, yeah.
Yeah, so.
It can be hard because it's like you want to also make sure you're maintaining those relationships. Like, you don't want to neglect your relationships and be a workaholic. Yeah. I think something that really helps me is like, designating time to talk to people while I'm doing like my mundane everyday tasks. That might sound horrible, but it's like if I'm walking to drop off something at UPS, I'm gonna call my grandma. Yeah. Like I know it's a 5-minute walk and it makes her week when I call her. Or like if I have a friend I need to call back, let me call that friend while I'm folding my clothes, you know? Or like recently I just like did my farmer's market run with one of my best friends from college. And it's like I hadn't seen her in a few weeks. And so it's like you can build those moments into your everyday instead of having to make everything like a dinner or like its own hangout because you're too tired.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I do love a dinner though.
I love a dinner.
I love a dinner.
No, I love a dinner. But I'm like, some nights I'm just like, first of all, sometimes I don't spend money. And then other times I'm tired and I'm like, oh, I committed to this though. I have to go. But as of late, I've been like offering low-key hangouts with people are fine with that, where it's like, oh, let's go to Pilates together or something. Like, let's go to our workout class together. And that's quality time while getting something done that you need to get done. So I think that's like a busy girl hack too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grind. So what is a barrier that you have to constantly push past every day throughout your creative pursuit as a creative entrepreneur?
I think it's not always seeing success as linear. I feel like, being super candid, I've been on a plateau lately, even though other people would not think that. I feel like I'm like, okay, I've been seeing consistent like little wins, but like, where's the spike of like success? And kind of dealing with the process and like that waiting process is pretty difficult for me. So that's something that I've been looking at as a barrier. But again, it's also like a lesson in knowing how to actively wait and believe that what's for you is coming and what God has placed in your life is going to be in your life, and your purpose is, you're going to be called for it. So that is a barrier, but it's probably a good thing to experience that wait, because once you finally get the thing, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. And this is kind of like your sharpening season, right?
Yes. I love that. Yeah. Sharpening season.
I feel like anytime that, and I heard this from somebody, but anytime that you're in your waiting period, that's the perfect time for you to brush up on your skills, to massage your connections, you know what I'm saying? So that way, when it is time for the pop out season, the winning season, it's like you're well equipped for that, whether it be socially, creatively, what have you, you know what I mean? Yes. So, using that time to rejuvenate, take stock, you know?
And prep.
So,
because everyone says like fall is the great lock-in. I'm like, y'all, I will lock in the spring. Like, I've been locked in all year. Like, right now it's just like recalibrating, like taking on these incredible opportunities, but it's like, again, like outside of that, just taking stock of what's been going on, prepping those skills, getting ready for the new year, because it's gonna be crazy. So
what does success look like for you in your career specifically?
I think that it's really, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, that in-person impact. There's nothing that feels like more of success to me when I host something or I go to an event and people are like, I'm here on the strength of your recommendation, or on you hosting, or you posted about this, so I came. Or if people say like, oh, I love your content because you talk about building a creative career and it's inspired me. That's real influence, I think. And like, that's something that makes me feel successful, because actually changing somebody's mind, like giving them tangible advice and inspiration, that's not something that every and anyone can do. And so once you're able to do that, that's how you know you're actually making an impact, I think. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of influencers, but not everybody's influential.
Period. Yeah.
It's not on you, it's what's in you.
It is, yeah. You know? Because again, the vanity metrics, like getting 1 million views and you can't even get 50 people in a room. That's my version of success, like actually seeing a tangible impact on people and impacting their lives and their course of action in their lives. So,
it's so beautiful how like human connection, like that really is the common denominator across everything, right? Like, I mean, with you being in digital media and then me being an artist, both creatives, obviously, but just like the different ways that we go about arriving at the same destination, right? I just think it's so beautiful. And it just reminds us that we all need that. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what you do, or, you know.
You need that community.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Can you describe a typical day in the life of doing your craft?
Ooh, okay, this is an interesting one because, again, I do work 9 to 5. So it's like, outside of that, what like an off day for me really tapping into my content creation looks like, it's a lot of prep work, because I know that I have limited pockets of time in which I can work on my non-9 to 5 work. So maybe it's preparing content strategy. It's maybe writing like 3 to 4 scripts at a time so that I can bulk film and like batch film my content for the entire week. So like if I know I have a super busy week coming up, I will take like Sunday night and like write out all of my content ideas, flesh them out into scripts, and prepare to film them like 3 at a time, Monday through Tuesday, and then prepare to edit maybe Wednesday night in bulk. So I think that that's what most of my time is spent doing. It's like prepping for a week ahead, because I know that work is going to take up most of my time.
One of the other content creators that I had on my show in season 1, she was talking about how she storyboards her content.
Ooh.
And I just think it's so cool how there's so many like similarities in terms to like filmmaking, you know, how you were saying like creating scripts and then setting aside time to edit, right? And like doing it all in bulk. And she was saying how she like I was saying, storyboards and like batch records as well. You know what I'm saying? So it really is like creating like a mini production process.
Oh, yes, for sure.
You know?
And it's interesting that people don't give content creation the props that it deserves. Because when you look at, for example, film production and content creation, they're two completely different mediums, and they require two completely different skill sets. And now as you look at journalism schools across the country, now they have like social media reporting classes and content creation classes where they're actually teaching people how to make digital content for social media platforms. So it's its own skill set, and I think that it requires that level of knowledge, and also like innate knowledge is like internet kids and people who grew up on the internet. So if everybody could make content, everybody would be making content. So it's not as easy, I think, as people think it is.
Yeah. It's a different type of eye.
Yes, for sure.
And different details that you're looking for and paying attention to.
Yeah, even like down to hooks and like capturing people's attention. It's really a game. Like it's something that you have to kind of play the lotto with, where it's like, let me try this hook for one video, let me try this other hook, and whatever sticks you apply to the next video that you make, because you're also relying on the algorithm. Yeah.
You have a favorite social media platform?
I loved Vine. I miss Vine so much.
I wasn't ready for you to say that. That's your TikTok.
No, I loved Vine. Like, if there has been a social media platform between 2009 and now, I've been on it. Like, I've been on Vine, I've been on Pinterest, I've been on, what else is there, Tumblr.
Oh, I was never on Tumblr.
Really? I had a whole Tumblr blog.
Oh, wow.
I had a YouTube that I made like in 2011, and I was posting on it up until like 2021. I'm like, I love social media in general, but Vine was my favorite. I loved Vine. Yeah.
Vine.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Vine.
R.I.P. Vine. It's so crazy because like, I don't think TikTok will go away, because I think it has a much larger cultural impact than Vine, like across the world. But again, it's crazy how we could say R.I.P. Vine, because it is gone. Yeah. So... And it's been like 10 years now, right?
I know, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I miss Vine. Yeah.
I know. All right, what do you think is the hardest thing about doing your type of work in New York City? And then what's the easiest thing?
The easiest thing is that everybody here is chasing their dreams. So you're not alone, or you don't feel embarrassed like you would in like a small town. Like, you know, nobody here is ashamed of chasing a creative career. But I think also the negative to that is that everybody here is chasing a creative career. So sometimes, again, it can feel oversaturated. And people also step on any and everybody to get to where they want to be. So you've seen it, right? You know, people will take advantage of other people's opportunities. Oh. They'll ask to collab, even though it's like they just want free work from you. I've heard horror stories of people tricking people out of like money for community events and classes as a means to, you know, get those views or success. So I think that the negative is that a lot of people are doing it and not everybody has genuine intentions. But that positive is that when you do find that genuine community, you really feel supported and uplifted here.
Yeah. So tell me about what you look for in your community and how you seek specific community members in your circle and for your circle.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I think like mutual support is a really big thing for me, and not in a way where it's like, what can you do for me? But it's like consistently supporting each other's wins and then coaching each other through our losses. So like if I don't feel comfortable sharing with somebody when I'm going through a tough patch or like asking for their advice, I don't consider that person necessarily within my community. I just consider them, again, someone who's like maybe a supporter, someone who supports what I'm posting, or I support what they're posting. But having community means that you're able to bounce ideas off each other and support each other in those winning and losing seasons. Well, we won't say losing seasons. We'll see plateau seasons. Or would you say the sharpening seasons?
Yeah.
The sharpening seasons, right.
Yeah,
so if you can support each other through those wins and those sharpening seasons, I think that that's an effective like community member to have.
Have you ever had to forfeit an opportunity because you had to prioritize survival or financially supporting yourself? Or how did you go about navigating that?
Yeah, not really, only because a lot of the opportunities that I get kind of run in parallel with my work. So like if I get a creator opportunity, again, I'm like a digital strategist / creator marketer in my 9-to-5. So the opportunities run in tandem. So it's like the experience I'm gleaning from one of those career paths is impacting the other. But of course, there have been like opportunities I've had to physically give up because I have work. And so it's like, I have a work meeting during that time. I cannot make your 2:00 event. And that's been unfortunate. But generally, the opportunities don't intersect each other too much.
What was a moment where you felt uncomfortable, but you had to show up anyway?
Ooh, okay. Very clear moment. So when I went to LA for the Hooray and Walmart shoot, I was so uncomfortable. Here's why. I had pitched myself to be in that program when I didn't even have the criteria to be selected. So I had like 2,000 followers on TikTok. I heard about the digital development program by Hooray and Walmart. And so I set up my camera and pitched myself to Issa Rae. I was like, not only do I want to be in this program, here's why I should be in the program with all my past experience. But I didn't have the follower threshold. I think it was like 10,000 or 20,000 followers to actually be in the program. I posted the video. I went into my workout class. I came out of the workout class. I had 10,000 followers. Like, girl, overnight, the next morning, 25,000 followers. And so I then won my spot into the program. But when I actually got there in LA, I felt like such an imposter because I was like, I won off of like essentially virality and like getting lucky with the algorithm and people following me in order to support me so that I could make this dream happen. Now I'm here, what do I do? And so when we were like on set for our different like commercial spots that we were doing, I was so uncomfortable with myself because I felt like I had gotten there like off of pure luck. But there were just such incredible people on set. I'll call him out, BP Edwards. So much love to BP because he really just like spoke life into me as the videographer on set when I was there because I was so nervous. And again, I felt like an imposter. So that was a moment where I felt uncomfortable, but I had to remember like God would not place me here if I was not supposed to be here. Like I'm not here off a fluke. I'm here off of years of hard work that led up to one moment that got me here. And so that's how I turned it from an uncomfortable moment to a great experience. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I just did an interview about that, about imposter syndrome specifically. And I mentioned that I talked about the best way to get over imposter syndrome and that feeling of like shame or that you don't belong is remembering all the work that you did in order to get there. Even if the hard work did meet luck.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You still did the preparation. You still did the hard work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's necessary too, especially if you look at it like from the perspective of like God wouldn't put you in this place if you weren't ready. It's like, even if you've had small wins or wins that weren't visible to other people, you've still been working on the back end. And so the opportunity would not be there if you were not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. No, the way it happened so fast, though.
Girl, it was crazy. Like, and I'm not exaggerating. So I made a recap video that was then my actual video submission to the program. Because again, the first video was my pitch to get the followers for the program. And then I had to actually make a video as my entry video. And the entry video was like telling the journey of how it had happened basically overnight and how I had reached the threshold to apply. So it was insane. It was really crazy. Yeah.
God said, bet.
Yes, literally. And it's so cute because there are people who will like comment on my videos to this day. Because this was back in 2024, which wasn't that long ago. Oh my gosh.
It was only last year. But we're about to.
But it feels like it was so much longer, right? Like it was the beginning of 2024. But there are people who comment, they're like, oh my God, I remember you from like the Hooray program. Or sometimes I'll get opportunities and people are like, no, I didn't find you from TikTok. Like I found you from this article about the Hooray Issa Rae program. And so it's opened so many doors in that way as well. So very grateful.
Yeah. Doing the damn thing. Like, oh my gosh. And the way you were just like, when I did this in the New York Times. I love Black women who tear it up like that. Like, girl. Oh my gosh.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, like no one else is. Yes. And part of it is also delusion because I was not always this confident in myself. Like, and still to this day, sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to be ready for this. Even if I don't feel ready, if I feel nervous, you have to show up and you have to tell yourself you're going to kill it because you really have no other choice or you're going to block your own blessings. So that's how I see it. But I love also how you amplify voices of people who talk about the real and aren't, you know, scared to admit their losses and like the things that they actually experience. Because everybody experiences negatives that, you know, we don't show to light.
Yeah. Or just not knowing what's going on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like how you were saying how post-grad you didn't know. Like you were like, my plan A is not... it's non-existent now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think, like you're saying, like sometimes it feels like you're presenting a highlight reel, but in real life, you feel like I'm plateauing, right? So the fact that you're even able to share that with us, I really do appreciate that because that's what this show really values, you know, are moments like that and experiences like that to let other people know during their sharpening seasons that it's sharpening.
I love that. Yes, it's sharpening.
It's sharpening.
And it's like, I think also... sharing those wins consistently and out loud is also practice for you to remember what you've done. So like, for example, sometimes I'll share videos from like 3 months ago of an opportunity that I had previously been quiet about because I was like, oh, I don't want to overpost about it because I don't want to like flex or whatever. But it's like, girl, you did do that and you can't be silent about it because it might lead to another opportunity. So of course, remaining humble, but like also being loud and proud about your wins is really important, especially as Black women. Like, we deserve to win all the time. Sorry. Yeah. Like, we're allowed to win and flex all we want. Like, we deserve it. So, yeah.
I love that you brought that up because I've been dealing with that recently. Just like, I don't post all my wins on my Instagram. Yeah. And I feel like, because it's just like, does everybody need to know my business? You know, but it's also like, girl, like your highlight reel can get you, like you're saying, more opportunities, right? Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance because I understand like not wanting to post too much about your personal life. When it comes to professional wins though, like flex them, be so loud about them, especially because you never know, again, who's watching. So when there are people like reaching out to you for opportunities, telling you how much they love the podcast, these are people that, you know, might have seen it reposted to LinkedIn when you eventually repost it or something. It might not be on the original platform that you're loud and proud about. So you never know how you're going to reach people or what those touch points are going to be. So you got to make sure you have multiple touch points with folks.
All right. So what is something that you wish you knew or a resource you wish you had in the early stages of your career?
Oh, money. Like,
come on.
Honestly, money. Like, it's actually a crazy story. So I went to NYU because I could not afford to go to school anywhere else. NYU is like one of the most expensive schools in the country. But NYU is the only school where I got a academic scholarship.
Yeah, that scholarship helps.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I was in the MLK Scholars Program. And now it's like been dissolved, which is so crazy. Like they don't give them scholarships anymore. It's just like a program to be a part of, which is so insane. Because that was why I was able to go to NYU. So I was only able to go to NYU because it was the only school that gave me a scholarship at the time. And so once I got to NYU, I had some help from my parents since I was a college student, but I relatively had to make it on my own in terms of the connections, which I still didn't get a ton from at NYU. But the ones that I did, I made sure to keep up with them even post-grad for internship opportunities. But I didn't have, the nepotism. I didn't have a lot of other people in my extended family who had gone to college or had those connections, if any. So that was definitely a resource I wish I had at the beginning, which was money and connections, which a lot of people in New York seem to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also going to the college we did, like you kind of forget like that people are loaded.
Yes.
Like,
and that people are like actually able to change lives as connections. And so I think that's something I don't want to say I wish I'd taken advantage of because I never want to like use people or take advantage of people, but I wish I'd been more strategic with my networking within NYU because there's so many incredible people that you should be able to like partner with or, like even call on to like look at your business ideas or like, oh, we should collab on X, Y, and Z. And I just didn't take advantage of that enough. Maybe COVID had something to do with it too. But yeah.
But also we're so young. Like, we don't really know what we're going to need once we leave.
Yes. Yeah. But there are some people who like knew. You remember the Side Talk guys?
No.
What? I lived in Lipton with them. And like they started Side Talk. I remember because they were freshmen. I think on my floor, on someone else's floor. But I like met one of the guys in the elevator and he gave me the Side Talk sticker. And they knew from day one what they wanted to do. And they were like, we live right off Washington Square Park because we were in Lipton Hall. And they were out there filming their videos every single day. Like they touched down freshman year with a mission. So I love that for them. And then, Side Talk's like a cultural phenomenon now. So that just goes to show that if you're given the opportunity, you have the plan, you see the platform, in the words of Young Thug. Like if you know what you want to do and you have that window of opportunity and you take it, it can really lead to something incredible. So good on them for knowing how to do it so young.
Yeah.
But I had no idea at the time.
So what keeps you going in times when you feel invisible?
Very lucky to have like a strong support system of people that pour into me, whether it's like my community here or my family or friends. But I also just look to God, to be quite honest. Like when I'm in, again, that waiting season, I like wait actively. So maybe I'm feeling like my content's being overlooked. I'm feeling like I'm plateauing. I execute what's called like the wait framework, which is like watch. So it's like you're watching for God's actions in your life that are already being done and the way that he's already showing up for you. A is like you're asking for guidance and asking him to actually tell you what you should be pursuing outside of your own dreams and wants and needs. I is invite, which is like you're inviting him to do his will in your life. And then T is trusting. So it's like looking to the promises that what's going to work out for your good will work out for your good eventually, because there's so many promises that God makes. Like I have it on my phone actually, it's Romans 8:28. It's like my wallpaper. All things work for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. It's like that's my life mantra, where it's like if I'm called according to his purpose, all things are going to work out for my good. And like that's a promise. So when I'm waiting, I kind of call on those different promises and those action steps. And so even though it seems like I'm not doing anything, I'm waiting for God's working in my life, and I know that it's going to happen because it was promised.
So last thing we have is the What's the Rate segment. So here on What's the Rate, we do a What's the Rate segment where you rate these 1 through 10, 1 being no and 10 being yes, we're here for it. Okay. So we have 7 things. So the first one is using Instagram to find career opportunities.
Oh my God, 10. Are you kidding? Like literally we have a client event coming up and I use Instagram to reach out to all of my network to like personally invite people. So love Instagram as a connection point.
Okay. Number 2 is LinkedIn.
Okay. I think LinkedIn's still good. It's just a little formal. I think that you can be a creative on LinkedIn and like talk about your creative process in the perspective of a career. And then that gains eyes from potential employers if you're looking for a full-time job, or it's just like another touch point for people to find you and your work.
You know, somebody said they were like, Instagram, it's more so for your audience, but LinkedIn is to get to the people who are on the staff
of where
you're trying to get into.
Yes.
And I was like, that's a good way to think of it, you know?
Yeah, like I wouldn't look at LinkedIn as like an application platform. Like, again, I'd look at it as kind of like your resume, like your active resume. And then Instagram, again, is for the audience. That's a great call out.
Yeah, and to not count out LinkedIn entirely, because I'm a LinkedIn hater. I'm not gonna lie. I
get it though. Like it's so cringy. I get on LinkedIn and roll my eyes most of the time, but it's like I do share like periodic updates, you know, and stuff like that. And again, a lot of people find me through LinkedIn and not through TikTok, where I have like 20,000 followers. They find me on LinkedIn, where I have like 2,000. So you never know who's watching.
All right. Number 3 is always saying yes.
Ooh. That's a 3. Like, we don't need to do that. I think that you can say no to opportunities that not only don't serve you, but don't pay you. I think maybe there's a creative hot take. I think everybody should be paid for their work. I don't care how much experience you have. I don't care who it's for. Even if it's for like Oprah, she should be paying you, especially her because she has money. But, you know, like a celebrity might see it as, oh, I'm giving you exposure. I think everyone should be paid for their work.
Number 4 is mentors.
I give it like a 7. I think mentors are really important. It's important to have like actionable mentors though, because I feel like there's a lot of hope core, especially when people end up paying for mentors, because sometimes like you just don't have them in your network. So there are people again who will pay for mentorship. But again, I think there are mentors who will take advantage of people.
Number 5 is non-paid projects.
Oh yes, it's a 1 for me, or a 0 if that's possible. Like I can't imagine. I was actually talking to a friend about like getting an assistant at some point next year, which is like, I can't imagine hiring someone, but okay. But like having an assistant, and she was like, oh, you could just get like an NYU student to intern for school credit. And I'm like, no, like I have to pay them. Like I can't imagine hiring another young Black woman and like not paying her for work. And I know that, again, there are people who would take advantage of that opportunity. Again, a thing that happens at NYU, in New York City, a lot of people, you know, want to take advantage of people who are looking for the opportunities, but everyone deserves to be paid. So long-winded answer, but 0.
Okay. Working your way up.
I wish I didn't have to do it, if that's like an answer, but it does build character. We'll give it a 7. And it probably makes getting to the top a lot more, you're a lot more grateful for it because you worked for it. But again, there are a lot of people who don't have to work for it and they seem pretty happy too. So.
All right. And then number 7, the last one is fame.
Ooh. I'd say a 3 or a 4, because being recognized by people for being like a thought leader is really great, because then you can have interesting conversations with people and you have like in real life supporters or a community. So like having a community, if that's like a form of fame, is important. But like tabloids, drama, people dissecting relationships, I can't imagine.
I know.
Yeah, like I don't want that. Like if anything, I just want people to like recognize me for my work within the industry. But like I'm cool off paparazzi and stuff like that.
All right. So where can the people find you?
Oh my gosh, they can find me all over the internet at Nya Etienne, or I think on TikTok I'm at Nya.Etienne, but that's NyaEtienne. Yeah, that's where I am everywhere. LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, where I be yapping. But yeah.
Great. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nya, for being on What's the Rate. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. I hope it helps inspire someone. And yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of What's the Rate. We will see you on the next episode.